Hi everybody, Bob Jennings with you for Jennings Wing Cars. We're just back from the Carlisle Chrysler Nationals in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. They do that about the third week of July every year. It's our third straight year of going. I took this year the unrestored 69 Hemi Daytona. And if you look real close, yes, these are the old 50-year-old wheels and tires. We bolted them on right before we went up. They are still on there today. The big discussion in the shop today is, do we want to take these off before the next show? We are going to take the Hemi Daytona to Mo Party in Bowling Green, Kentucky, in the Survivors Tent, September 15th, 16th, and 17th down in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Now, when we went to Carlisle, to the Chrysler Nationals, I hauled the car on my open trailer. You've seen this in our other videos. This is our ramp truck, the purple one. We went there via I-64 in the mountains of West Virginia, but the mountains are pretty tough, and I was using the turbo quite a bit, not comfortable with that, so we went back via the Pennsylvania Turnpike, which cost about 35 or 40 bucks worth of tolls. Just an interesting thing. So what did we see while we were at the Chrysler Nationals? If you've never been, it is Mecca for Mopars. You know, I've got two main shows that I absolutely love. The McCacken Show, Muscle Cars and Corvette Nationals, the weekend before Thanksgiving. My good friend Bob Ashton puts that on every year in Chicago. We love that show. We had all 8 wing cars there this year. And that is all cars, the best of all makes and models, worth going to. The Chrysler Nationals is all Mopars. And I'll give you a little summary of it. I have 2 comments that we make. The first year I went, I remember talking to my wife. There's a great big high hill that kind of overlooks everything, and we parked. I told my wife, I said, you know, I'd really like to see one of those, I remember those red Dodge pickups, the little red Express, and I commented to Gene that I sure would like to see one. We popped over a hill, there's like 8 of them in a row. They even had one of those black Warlocks that you may have heard of, so they had that one there as well. Interesting to see. The other comment I have is Jean, my wife, many of you have met her, as we left the show last year and this year, Jean summarized it with, boy, I sure wish this went another day. Every make, every model, new, old, ancient, high performance, stock, restored, survivors, you name it, they had it there at Carlisle Nationals. They have it every year. I've been asked, Mel Major, who always put on the Survivor tent for Ed Buzewski, at the Carlisle Nationals. Mel passed away last year, and I had great respect for him, and his sons asked me to bring this car there this year, and they've asked me to bring this to Mo Party in Bowling Green to try to maybe help out the attendance there at the Mo Party show in the Midwestern United States. So we'll be dragging that one down there, this one down there as well. Yes, it does start. Yes, it does run. Lou Costable will have a video on it maybe by the time you see this. He'll have it posted on his website. So what did we see while we were there at Carlisle? Well, first, all-time record number of cars, well over 3,100 Chryslers of all makes and models were there. And since this is a wing car channel, let's talk primarily about them. In the Survivor tent this year, this was the only one. There were 3 wing cars for sale over in the car corral, they call it. And I looked at all 3. I'll comment on all 3 of them. One of them was a, call it a tribute, a clone or whatever. And I've heard, it was the orange one you may have seen online. I've heard what it sold for. I'm reluctant to say because I've not been able to verify it. It sold for a pretty strong number for a clone or a tribute car. There was also, I heard it sold for 121 grand. There you go. But I don't know that that's right or not. The second Superbird was a Petty Blue Superbird. It had had 1 repaint. It was Petty Blue, looked real nice. A lot of really good features about it. I think I saw a sign on it. They were asking $325,000. I don't know if it's sold or not. My original thought that was a pretty strong number, but in retrospect, the way wing car prices are going, I'm not so sure. A couple of things that I noticed. I don't want to be Mr. Negative. It's a very nice car. There are some things that jumped out at me. Primarily, the radiator is not a Chrysler radiator. It's some aftermarket kind of squared off model. And you know, you can get Glenray radiators, does sell the reproduction that looks original. And if I was selling a Petty Blue Bird, I'd want it to pass the eye visual, and that just jumped right out at me. I don't, nothing else really jumped out. You're always going to be able to eat up any of these cars, but if I was selling it, I'd be asking that. But the car was very nice, and again, Petty Blue 440 automatic, if I remember correctly. The last car that was there was an absolutely gorgeous V2 orange 69 Daytona. It was not a Hemi. It was just gorgeous paint job. Clearly priced way outside of the boundaries of reality. And I don't mind saying it, they were asking $800,000 for a 444 barrel Daytona. Clearly very well restored, but anybody that owns a wing car hopes they get it, but reality, they ain't gonna get that. All right, that's just way out of bounds. To give you an idea, I am thinking about selling my yellow Daytona. I've got maybe the world's most elusive Superbird coming towards me, and I may sell mine. And mine's actually a 4-speed, which is more in demand. The paint doesn't look quite as good, and I'd sell it for half that number and be happy as a clam. So those are the ones that were for sale. What about the rest of them? Well, right next to the Survivor tent, there were about a dozen gorgeous wing cars, Superbirds, Daytonas. We had the Disco Daytona, if you've ever seen that one. That's the old one we had in the Survivor paint booth, Building T at Carlisle 2 years ago. And it was there. My friends Brent and Jeff Colchin out of Chicago. I saw Dustin Kinley with his green F8, absolutely gorgeous tribute Daytona. And a number of other friends with equally gorgeous wing cars that were there. I'm going to guess that there were 12 to 15 wing cars right there and another 2 or 3 tributes scattered throughout the field. I have heard that it is the biggest gathering of wing cars Carlisle has ever had. I can neither confirm nor deny that. All I can say, it was wing car heaven. Any other comments on Carlisle before we sign off? I know that I haven't spoken with you in a while. We're going to have a couple of videos coming in the next 2 weeks, all right, to get a few out. Any other comments? Carlisle's hot. Hot, hot, hot. Or Good Morning Vietnam. Did you ever watch that movie, Robin Williams? It's hot. It's damn hot. All right, that's how hot it was there at Carlisle. We had people fainting like flies right and left. So if you go, 2 things: wear shorts and a t-shirt, wear a hat, wear something around your neck to cool you down, and drink plenty of water while you're there. So I remember the heat. I remember the incredible cars. I got only a couple of pictures myself. I have a 61 Dodge Pioneer. Very few people even know what it is, but it had a 413 with that big dual intake, that airflow type intake, 4 barrels. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, one last comment. I need to end this up. I also talked to Melissa Wilson, Little Miss Leadfoot, with the 440, if I remember right, the dragster that she's getting ready to get going. We are going to sponsor her, not Jennings Wing Car, my main company, which is Tax Speaker. We're going to sponsor her this fall at Mo Party and Drag Racing. If you ever met her, very personable, intelligent young woman. She was one of the 5 finalists on the Chief Donut Maker for Chrysler. We're excited about that. I'm excited for her. I really hope her great success. We've decided to help her out because it's so hard for, she calls herself a grassroots racer. So we're going to help her out a little bit financially to help her try to make a success of it. Her desire is there, her personality is there, and we just wish her great success. So look for a forthcoming video on Little Miss Leadfoot. Another one here from Jennings Wing Cars. We bought another vehicle. Coming up on our next video, we'll be talking about that. Until then, I hope I got to talk to you at the Chrysler Nationals. If not, come down to Mo Party in Bowling Green, Kentucky, mid-September. And you'll enjoy it at Holly's Mo Party. And until then, for all of us here at Jennings Wing Cars, I'm Bob Jennings. See you again next time. Thanks, everybody.